is Fox 5 Morning News.
The Supreme Court takes up a hot-button issue today that is significant not only for D.C. but the entire country. It has been 31 years since private gun ownership was essentially outlawed in the District of Columbia. The High Court will hear arguments today about whether that ban violates the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Backers of a continued ban say the region's violent crime would worsen if ownership rules were relaxed, but opponents say it prevents law-abiding citizens from protecting their homes and their families. And joining us now are Horace Cooper, Senior Fellow at the American Civil Rights Union, a conservative organization focused on the Bill of Rights, and Peter Ham, Director of Communications at the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, which is a grassroots organization dedicated to ending gun violence. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
We will all agree that today's ruling goes far beyond the district.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the first salvo by the other side from us in this debate questioning whether gun laws are constitutional or not. And so it's a very important day.
Oh, there are major ramifications here. We have an opportunity, a historic opportunity, to really give life and vibrancy to the Second Amendment, that individual right that our framers intended for us all to be able to have. There is a great opportunity that's going to become manifest.
Let's just go over the Second Amendment, and you see perhaps where the problem is with the wording here. It reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state and the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The people, is that an individual's rights or a group rights?
You've done a good job of summarizing what this is all about. And for 200 years, and for the last time, 69 years ago, the Supreme Court ruled that there was a collective people's right under the Second Amendment of the Constitution, and that allowed places like the District of Columbia to pass gun laws that protect you and your family.
But has it worked? Gun violence still very prevalent here in the district. Has it worked, your opponents would say?
2 points. First of all, yes, we think it's worked, and we think that crime would have been worse without it. Secondly, we have a larger problem in that the federal laws, when it comes to guns and access to guns by dangerous people, are too weak. So we think that the district suffers because criminals can get guns in Virginia and Maryland and bring them across the border.
Well, there are a couple of issues here. Sometimes we conflate the misuse of firearms and the right of individuals to have this Second Amendment right as an individual basis. We believe at the American Civil Rights Union that the Supreme Court, when they looked at this issue in the Miller case about 70 years ago, they really avoided directly addressing the constitutional question of whether or not that was an individual right. How we as a community, how we as a society, how we as the various states in the Union deal with this being addressed as an individual right is a second question, but the court really needs to come down squarely in favor of recognizing this really is an individual right.
Okay, if D.C.'s decision remains that the ban is lifted, what will that mean for states' rights, for the country's rights, in your opinion, Horace?
Well, starting with the District of Columbia, what it will mean is that the major crime wave that started here in the late 80s, early 90s, and then started to slack a little bit, we're seeing a little uptick. We would be able to have individuals having the right to protect themselves. And you can see study after study that shows in those states across the country where people have the ability to arm themselves, criminals say that the #1 fear that they have is that they're going to encounter an armed citizen, and it does have it.
I'm sorry, those studies are highly questionable. There's an individual who has done some of those studies who's been called into question. His research has been called into question. It's important also to note that, as I said, this is only the first salvo for the gun rights crowd when it comes to the Second Amendment, because they've made it clear that next they're going after Chicago's law. If they win here, they're going to go after New York's law. They won't even admit that, or they won't even say that they support the Brady law, which simply says that we need to do a criminal background check to make sure that convicted felons and other dangerous people and people who are adjudicated as mentally ill can be protected, can be prohibited from getting guns. So really there is so much at stake here, and D.C. and the people of D.C. are the first that could potentially see the results of this.
Horace, this is far from over, right?
Oh, definitely. But I would say this. At the American Civil Rights Union, we see that the Supreme Court has an opportunity today to really catch up to where the American people are. Everywhere you see an opportunity to put this up to a vote, legislators and referendums are revealing that people want to have their individual right recognized.
Let's end it there, gentlemen. We appreciate you coming in today. Peter Ham with the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence, Horace Cooper, American Civil Rights Union. Thank you both.
Thanks very much.